Good day, everyone. Our topic for today is all about brain development and language development. But for now, I will focus on brain development. Now, there are 5 stages of brain development. The first stage is the gestation, setting the stage. The brain starts to develop 4 weeks of conception when one of the 3 layers of the cells in the embryo rolls up to form a neural tube. A week later, the top of the tube bends over, creating the basic structure of the fore, mid, and hindbrain. The second stage is childhood, the soak it up. Children brains have a massive growth spurt when they're very young. By the time they're 6, their brains are already about 90 to 95 of adult size. The brain is the most energetic and flexible that it will ever be. As they explore the world around them, it continues to grow, making the breaking connection at breakneck speed. Perhaps, surprisingly, learning, memory, and language begin before they are even born.
Good day, everyone. I am Jasmine Rose G. Disquitado, and I will be discussing about the stage 3 or the adolescence wired and rewiring. So adolescence is a time of significant growth and development inside the teenage brain. Our brains may be fully grown, but the wiring is certainly still a work in progress. So adolescents differ from adults in a way they behave, solve problems, and make decisions. There is a biological explanation for this difference. Studies have shown that brains continue to mature and develop throughout childhood and adolescence and well into early adulthood. Next is many parents do not understand why their teenagers occasionally behave in an impulsive, irrational, or dangerous way. At times, it seems like teens don't think things through or fully consider the consequences of their actions, but there is a biological explanation for this. Scientists have identified a specific region of the brain called the amygdala that is responsible for immediate reactions, including fear and aggressive behavior. This region develops early for teens. Ang mga teens kay kadali kay nila maka-make sang decisions without thinking thoroughly kay ang ila amygdala is na early siya na develop. Next is, however, the prefrontal cortex, the area of the brain that controls reasoning and helps us think before we act, develops later. So only siya ma-develop. That's why some teens behave in an impulsive, irrational, or dangerous way because they don't think things through or fully consider the consequences of their actions because wa pa na-develop fully ila prefrontal cortex. The fourth stage is the adulthood or the slippery slope. When you're in your early 20s and your brain has finally reached adulthood, enjoy it while it lasts. The peak of your brain's powers comes at around age 22 and lasts for just half a decade. From there, it's downhill all the way. The slow decline begins at about 27 and runs throughout adulthood, although different abilities decline at different rates. So the most important brain area to be fully wired up in adulthood is the prefrontal cortex, located in the front portion of the frontal lobe. This area handles many of the higher level cognitive abilities such as planning, solving problems, and making decisions. That's why ang mga teens kay musik gayud sang advice sa ila parents when it comes sa mga decisions in life kay mas makaibang maging ang atong mga parents sa mga dapat na may tabo. So, the development at maturation of the prefrontal cortex occurs primarily during adolescence and is fully accomplished at the age of 25 years. This means na ang atong brain kay ma-fully develop or ma-start na siya pag solidify edad naton sang 25 years old. But fortunately, change is still possible after kay ang age ba na 25 kay kabata pa kaayo, so damo pina nga experiences ang aton ma-shoot sa aton brain. So the fifth and last stage is the old age, down but not out. By the time you retire, there's no doubt about it, your brain isn't what it used to be. By 65, most people will start to notice the signs. So, let's say for example, mga lolo or lola naton, kadali na kayo nila makalimot, hasta ang pangansay po kay makalimot na sila. Nya worse kay nang may giluto sila, sunod makalimtan nila, then natingan na lang sila nga nasunog na ngayon. So, the brain isn't what it used to be na gayon. So, next is certain parts of the brain shrink, especially those important to learning and other complex mental activities. So, as we age, our brain shrink in volume. At this stage of life, we are steadily losing brain cells in critical areas such as the hippocampus, which is the area where memories are processed. So, if gamay na lang na brain cells ang ara sa aton hippocampus, kay there's a tendency that people lose their ability to remember and their ability to do everyday tasks kaya sa aton mga lolo kag lola. So, in certain brain regions, communication between neurons or nerve cells may not be as effective. So, the blood flow in the brain may decrease. The reduced blood flow to the brain starves the cells of nutrients and quickly leads to a malfunctioning of the cells. As a part of the brain stops functioning, symptoms of a stroke occur. During a stroke, there is a core area where blood is almost completely cut.
Good day everyone. Today we are going to tackle about the tips for improving brain development. First, we have exercise regularly. Exercise has many known benefits, and it appears that regular physical activity benefits the brain. Multiple research studies shows that physical active people are less likely to experience a decline in their mental function. Next, we have get plenty of sleep. Sleep plays an important role in your brain health. Some theories say that help sleeps clear abnormal proteins in your brain and consolidates memories, which boosts your overall memory and brain health. Next, we have don't abuse alcohol. Excessive drinking is a major risk factor for dementia. If you choose to drink, limit yourself to 2 drinks a day. Next, we have stay mentally active. Your brain is similar to a muscle. You need to use it or you'll lose it. There are many things that you can do to keep your brain in shape, such as doing crossword puzzles or Sudoku, reading playing cards, or putting together a jigsaw puzzle. Lastly, we have to remain socially involved. Social interaction helps ward off depression and stress, both of which can contribute to memory loss. Look for opportunities to connect with loved ones, friends, and others, especially if you live alone.
Good day everyone, I am Charla Maro and now I will be focusing more on language development. First, language acquisition actually refers to infants' acquisition of their native language. They acquire language through a subconscious process and are unaware of grammar rules. Children do usually not require explicit instruction to learn their first language. They just pick up the language the same way they talk and learn how to roll over, crawl, and walk. Moreover, children may acquire more than one first language. For example, children who grow up in a house where parents speak only English language will acquire only English. However, children who grow up in a bilingual household, say French and English, will learn both languages. Next, I will be talking about different ways on how first language is acquired. First is baby talk. An example of baby talk is baby has a tum-tum when referring to your baby's belly. At 4 months of age, your baby cannot understand baby talk, but it sets the stage for teaching your baby to expect the back and forth of the conversation. Next is bubbling and cooing. Baby cooing refers to single vowel sounds such as oo and ah. whereas bubbling includes consonant sounds like ma, and ba, ba. These baby sounds are just two steps in your little one's long language journey. Last is bubbling. Bubbling is a stage of early language development when baby makes consonant vowel and vowel consonant sounds such as ma, da, or ang. Repetitive bubbling occurs next, for example, ma, ma.
Good day everyone, I'm Nika Belio Villacastin and now I'm going to discuss about the one-word stage. So one-word stage is the development period starts between approximately 10 and 18 months. It is characterized by speech in which single terms are uttered for everyday objects. So some of the words that they will be able to utter are milk, cat, spoon, cookie, cup, and sometimes they'll say yes and no. Next is the two-word stage. So during the two-word stage, children between the ages of 18 to 24 months will typically start to speak in mini sentences. So the child's vocabulary moves beyond 50 words. This is the stage in which children begin combining words together to better communicate their emotions, needs, and perceptions. So some of these examples is mommy come, daddy sit, mommy upseat, or sometimes daddy hug. And the last one is telegraphic speech. This one is characterized by string of words and phrases or sentences. Toddlers develop these levels of speech between 18 to 24 months. Telegraphic speech is important because it means your little ones is learning to communicate their thoughts and feelings. One of those examples that they'll be able to utter are the shoe all wet, cat drink milk, and sometimes they'll say daddy go bye-bye, and that'll be all.
And now, let's recall the second language acquisition. Second language acquisition, or sequential language acquisition, deals with acquisition of additional languages in both children and adults after a first language is already learned. Many times, this happens when a child who speaks a language other than English goes to school for the first time.
Good day everyone, I am Gia Marie B. Hila, and since we are done discussing about the second language acquisition, let's now focus on the different ways in how the second language is acquired or taught. So first, grammar translation method. Grammar translation method, a method of foreign or second language teaching which makes use of translation and grammar study as the main teaching and learning activities. In grammar translation classes, students learn grammatical rules and then apply those rules by translating sentences between the target language and the native language. Next is the audiolingual method. Audiolingual method is a method of foreign language teaching which emphasizes the teaching of listening and speaking before reading and writing. It uses dialogues as the main form of language presentation and reels as the main training technique. The main objective of the audiolingual method is to help an individual acquire accurate pronunciation. Lastly, the communicative approach. The communicative approach is based on the idea that learning a language successfully comes through having to communicate real meaning. When learners are involved in real communication, their natural strategies for language acquisition will be used, and this will allow them to learn to use the language. That would be all. Thank you.
Hello, good day everyone. I am Carrie May Afsina and I will be discussing about tips for improving language development in children. Don't correct or criticize. There will be a learning curve with child's language development. If their tenses, verbs, or pronunciation are off, don't jump to correct or criticize them. They may interpret this feedback negatively and feel reluctant to keep trying, or they'll feel embarrassed. Instead, try repeating the sentence back with corrected verb. Sing nursery songs together. Young children love music and movements. When they hear animated songs like Old MacDonald Has a Farm, they learn about world around them and rhythm of language. Read frequently, no matter how young they are. Reading to child helps with their letter, word recognition, as well as expanding their vocabulary. Many children's books inspire their imagination and words and description that would typically come up during regular conversation.
Hello everyone, good day. My name is Kyle A. Kizon, and for today I will be discussing about the tips for improving language development, specifically in adults. We have 4 tips. First is a limit screen time. It can be a good idea to avoid permitting excess screen time, as it can interfere with language learning. And this is because devices like televisions and smartphones that are present today and we currently use lacks interaction, which is an important factor in language development. Second tip is read. Read as much as you possibly can and find books that interest you. It's not about reading for fun, it's about reading because it can help you learn and grow your language skills. Third tip is talk to the people. If there aren't any native speakers around you, try talking to people who or individuals who can speak your target language. It'll help make sure your pronunciation is correct, and they'll be able to correct any mistakes or offer suggestions if they notice something wrong or incorrect during their conversations with you. Lastly, we have listen more often, or also known as active listening. This technique requires that you actually pay attention while someone is speaking rather than just listening passively by merely nodding along or saying uh-huh occasionally throughout their conversation with you. Thank you.